80% of food is genetically engineered. 6% of cattle, horses, sheep, cats and dogs are clones. Hi, my name is Pranav and today I'm going to discuss with you why there should be more freedom with genetic engineering and cloning. Let's first dive into genetic engineering and cloning and the process behind them. With genetic engineering, a common example is a desired gene in cows. This gene allows for cows to produce more milk. Firstly, this gene is extracted using a specific enzyme complementary to this gene. Bacteria cells are typically used for the next step due to their rapid reproduction using binary fission. An E. coli cell can actually undergo binary fission in just 20 minutes. The self-duplicating ring of DNA is called the plasmid. The plasmid is removed from the E. coli cell and opened with the use of a specific enzyme called a restriction enzyme. The gene for a higher yield of milk is then inserted into the plasmid, and the plasmid is then recombined with an enzyme called DNA ligase. The plasmid is then reintroduced into the E. coli cell and undergoes binary fission to reproduce, then mass producing the gene. This then means that the gene can be inserted into a cow to express. Cloning, on the other hand, involves removing an egg cell, for example, a horse. DNA from a specific horse that is desired, such as one that has the capability to run very fast, is extracted, typically from a skin cell. The egg cell is then cleared of genetic information and replaced by the DNA from the skin cell. The cell is then shocked to stimulate development, and the egg is then put into a surrogate mother to grow and develop. When the surrogate mother gives birth, there will be a genetically identical horse. This is known as a clone. Now, this topic is controversial as people argue that it is unethical or playing God. Now, I believe there are benefits and costs to genetic engineering and cloning. However, the benefits far outweigh the costs, and let me show you why. Firstly, let's look at the benefits. The first benefit is defeating diseases. Almost all of us have suffered from a disease at least one point in our life. 95% of the population have suffered. Many disorders, such as Down syndrome or cystic fibrosis, can also be tackled. This can be done in unborn children with the use of genetic engineering. With this, we can eradicate many diseases and disorders by inserting genes to provide resistance or turn off genes that cause a disorder, or even remove or add chromosomes. This then allows for a longer life, a higher quality of life, something desired by all humans. The second benefit is we can also engineer a higher mentally functioning society with smarter humans. Even those who are more intelligent by Einstein by 1,000 times, and this has been reported by mindmatters.ai. These minds could help towards the initiative to end cancer or end world hunger and generic global scale problems, as well as maximize the growth of the economy. The third benefit is cloning allows those who cannot father or mother children alone. They will now have a chance and even have an identical clone to them. This will then increase the mental stability of these people, as the depression rate for infertility is actually 57%. The next benefit is increases in crop yields. Crop yields have increased by 24.5% due to genetic engineering. And this is due to the introduction of genes that allow for higher crop yields. This benefit allows for a higher amount of food for us to eat, as well as conserving resources such as water due to less plants being needed to meet demand, due to genetically engineered plants producing high yields in low numbers. The similarity in all these benefits is that the standard and quality of life improve for all. Now, with benefits always come costs. The first cost is genetic defects can take place. By inserting genes, we can cause random mutation in other genes, and these mutations are either positive, such as a gene that protects from heart disease, or negative, one that makes cancer more prone. However, the chances of this are 0.0001%, almost minimal, but it is still important to recognize that the possibility is still there. The next cost is the gene pool is reduced. This means there is less variety in the genes in the population. By regulating genes, certain genes that could provide a benefit in the future could be affected due to not being seen useful in the past. If all humans are genetically similar, they are more prone to the same type of disease, whereas without cloning, some people are prone and some people are not. If everyone is prone, then the whole population is at risk. However, once again, this is again unlikely due to the likelihood of there always being people against genetic engineering and cloning. The chance of this even happening would be generational, not for another 1500 years. The final cost is a more religious take. Those of religion argue that nobody has the right to play God, and that everything that happens in the world happens for a reason, and we have no right to tamper with that. So if somebody is born with a genetic defect or disorder, there's a reason they have this. This final cost is completely subjective and comes down to belief. So, what have we covered? The scientific process behind how genetic engineering and cloning take place, the benefits of these and the costs of these. To conclude, we are the future. We should allow more freedom with the research of genetic engineering and cloning. We can improve the lives of all, remove diseases, make more efficient and better food, and increase resources while saving resources. The most important thing is that we can make this happen during our generation. To help out, sign petitions to show the government that laws on experiments with genetic engineering and cloning should be more lenient and in favour. Thank you.